Welcome to the Tweet Suite here at Community America Ballpark. I'm Matt Fulks, along with pitcher Daniel Barone. And as we record this, Daniel got the win last night against Gary South Shore. And, with the exception of giving up a couple home runs, a very strong outing for you.
Yeah, I felt strong. Even though I threw a ton of pitches during the game, a lot of pitches could have went either way. I felt like very consistent zone, but very tight zone. So it could have went either way last night. But fortunately enough to get in the seventh and get out of the seventh. So
one thing we've seen from you, a couple things we've seen from you all year. First pitch strike, and I don't have the percentage in front of me, but it's got to be huge, and that seems to be a big part of your game.
Yeah, first pitch strike. I have travel ball teams back home, and if they don't throw first pitch strike, I'm on them. So I definitely it sets up the whole at bat, and it's a big part of my game.
Well, and along those lines, just your strikeout to walk ratio, and particularly not necessarily the strikeouts as much as the walks, just that low number. We were talking about on the air the other night that it seems like we tell kids as they're coming up to pitch, say, just throw strikes and let them hit it. And that seems to kind of be your philosophy a little bit.
Absolutely. I can't. My goal is to get the guy out in 3 pitches or less. I'm not looking for strikeouts. I'm not trying to punch anybody out unless the situation dictates it. But I'm trying to let them put the ball in play, let them get themselves out. So sinker down and away or go in on them, and hopefully they beat it in the ground.
What's been the key for you so far this year with the T-Bones?
Like you said, the first pitch strike. Getting ahead. And when I get behind, I give up my hits. And that's been the biggest thing is making sure that I get ahead of the count and stay ahead.
You're an interesting story, and we've talked about it a little bit on the air. We've had some stories on the website and whatnot, but you reached the big leagues with the Marlins, and so let's start with that because a couple guys, you and Richard both reached the bigs, and what do you remember from the time you were called up and you found out, hey, you're going to the Marlins?
Obviously the conversation my manager had with me was awesome. He just said, hey, you know who we're facing, and I was naming off some of the guys that from Oklahoma City we were supposed to face, and he just said, no, you're going to be facing Jose Reyes as your leadoff batter. And I'm like, oh. It's like you're getting called up, and I'm like, it was just such an emotional feeling, exciting feeling, and that's something I'll never forget.
So about how many days were you up before you actually got into a game?
I flew in that morning and pitched that night.
Really?
Yeah, so it was here you go, all in one. It was raining and nasty out, and yeah, it was great. I didn't feel it.
Well, who was the manager at that time?
Freddie Gonzalez was our manager. Yeah, so he's a great guy. I love playing for him. But
it's there's got to be some nervousness, I would think. People say, well, it's whether you're pitching independent ball or at the major leagues, but the lights are a little bit brighter there.
You know what? I was more anxious than anything. I wasn't nervous. My biggest thing was throw strike one, and that was my biggest thing is throw a strike one, and it's all going to become easy after that. And first pitch, strike one to Jose Reyes, and here we go.
You made almost 20 appearances.
Yeah.
Do any of them stand out? Any moments from being up there stand out to you?
I faced the Cardinals. That was one of my best starts, and faced Albert Pujols, and that was one of the at-bats that I'll never forget. Bases loaded and get him to ground into a double play. So
did you?
Next at-bat, he hit it off the Big Mac sign off me. So
on the double play, what did you throw it?
Change up down and away, and he beat it in the ground and rolled it over, and there we go.
In the home run?
Change up.
Really? So he made the adjustment, I guess.
Yes, he did. Yeah, he crushed it.
Huh. Well, that's. It's obviously not a good memory in the fact of how far he hit it, but several guys are giving up homers to Pujols.
Yeah, definitely. If you're going to give it up to somebody, it might as well be him.
So about 6 years ago, you walked away from the game. Mm-hmm. Tell us a little bit about just your decision to say, hey, you know what, I'm done.
I was playing with Florida, and then they put me on the Phantom DL. So I asked for my release, and Oakland signed me, and I was in Double-A, and things weren't rolling my way. It was getting tons of ground balls, but they weren't going to anybody. So it was just one of those things that, man, I'd rather be at home with my family. And I mean, my son was about to turn 1 at the time, and I spent that off season with him, and it was just awesome being a dad. So that was my biggest thing was I'm going to go home, be a dad, and I'm happy with that. I'm happy with what I did here, playing baseball with the game, and I chose to go home.
Did you miss it at first?
From the second I walked out of the clubhouse, I've missed it. I mean, I missed the game. I mean, I have a facility back in California that I mean, always baseball. It's always been baseball for me. So coming back I have to pinch myself every time I'm back out on the mound.
So what eventually made you say, you know what, I need to give this another try?
I felt like I've always wanted to give it another try. I just didn't know when I was going to be able to do it. And finally, talking to Ashley and talking about it, and she's like, well, you're not going to get any younger. Just go try it one last time and get it out of your system. And if it works, it works. And if not, I get to come back home to my 2 boys.
So you haven't had a chance to see them yet. So has it been tougher than you thought, easier than you thought?
Way tougher. Yeah. I mean, saying goodbye to them, that was one of the hardest things that I think I've ever done is having to give them a kiss goodbye and knowing that I'm not going to see them for a little bit. So, I can't wait to see him.
So you have a son who'll be 6 here in the next couple weeks, and then the other one?
He's 5 months old.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
So
that had to be really tough.
That's very hard. Yeah, so I'm anxious to see them.
I'm guessing Skype and all that stuff is.
Yeah. We do that a little bit, but it's kind of hard for my oldest to sit there and do that. He gets a little sad. So,
yeah.
But
it happens.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, it's great for the T-Bones to have you. I mean, you and Zagoni have been outstanding, and one thing that Zagoni talks about, and a couple of the other guys have said this as well, that one thing that you bring is just that veteran presence and things that they can learn from you.
Yeah, you know what? I just try to lead by example and just go out there, do my work, and if anybody wants to talk, I'm here to talk about anything. Hitters want to talk to me, vice versa. I mean, I talk to them, I pick their brain just as much as they pick mine. So I love our group of guys. We have a great group of guys in that clubhouse, and it's been awesome. I mean, I've enjoyed every minute out here.
Well, we're glad you're here. We're glad Ashley is supportive of you coming out here, and best of luck here. I mean, I'm sure we'll get you on a video or a story at some point, but best of luck throughout the rest of the season.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
He's Daniel Barone. I'm Matt Fulks. Thanks for watching, and come out to the Tweet Suite at some point here at Community America Ballpark.